Halloween, the underworld, kicking a puppy in the face. I've been beefing with her since page 1 of Haunting Adeline. It's a tangible bulge drawn on the cover. Her taste in men is terrifying. What's up, guys? My name is Natalie, and welcome to my Nook of Novels. In today's video, I am going to be using my wheel to choose my October TBR. Now, first and foremost, I probably sound very weird, like my voice doesn't sound right. I just got over being sick, sort of. I still am like a little sick-ish. It's mostly just that I have a runny nose. So if the makeup on my nose starts to disappear over the course of this video, it's not because I'm a magician, believe it or not. It's just because I have to blow my nose every 3 seconds. So it's probably going to go downhill as we go, but at least we're starting with some makeup on. I also realized as soon as I got all dressed up and ready to film this that I totally missed an opportunity to dress like Halloween-like for this because it is my October TBR, but alas, we're too late. I already got completely ready before I even thought about it, and there was just no going back. So here we are in my absolutely not Halloween whatsoever outfit, but what can you do? My skin is like peeling on my nose as well from literally blowing my nose 1,000 times a day. So if it looks like there's like something on my face randomly, it's not. It's literally just that my skin is like literally falling off. So just please disregard, please ignore. It's just what we're working with. This video might end up being kind of late. I'm filming it the night before it's supposed to go up just because I've been sick all week and this is my first chance that I've actually had to film this video. So it might not be up exactly on time, or it might end up being late at night, the next day, something like that. Some variation of late in some regard. But I'm going to try my best to get this up as soon as I possibly can. And before I actually start to talk about my actual TBR, I do want to address last week's video. It never went up, obviously. I was planning to do a doing my nails based on my current reads video, and I did film it, but I don't think the angles on it were that good. I feel like it wasn't going to turn out that well, and I was so overloaded with homework last week. I had so much to do that I didn't even get to start editing that until Monday of this week. And then by the time I did start, like I was starting to get sick, I wasn't feeling well. I still didn't have an intro or an outro for it. It was literally just the clips of me doing my actual nails, and I just didn't think it was going to turn out that good. I wasn't that happy with how my nails looked by the time it was done, so it felt like it was going to be so much work. It was literally just hours of footage. I just couldn't be bothered. I just didn't have the passion for it. Like by the time it was all said and done, I didn't want to like waste y'all's time with a video essentially that I didn't feel like was going to even turn out that good, and I didn't want to waste my time either. So I ended up just scrapping that one. We're starting fresh this week, and I didn't want to like the rest of my videos fall behind because of that one either, because it was going to take me a while, and I just feel like I have bigger and better things to move on to in the coming weeks. Speaking of which, I have my October filming schedule planned out, and looking back over it now, I am actually so excited for every single video that I have planned for the month of October. I am gonna have so much fun filming every single one of them, and I just cannot wait. I'm so thrilled. There's just a lot of exciting things to come. So this is the first in a series of some of my favorite things I think I've filmed yet. Look forward to that. So much exciting stuff. And yeah, also please disregard the lumps in the blanket behind me. My boyfriend is sleeping on the bed, and I would feel like I was literally kicking a puppy in the face if I asked him to move or reposition to not have this look like flat or whatever. I feel like it's fine. I feel like it's whatever. I don't think it really looks bad, but if it does, sorry about that. There's nothing I can do. One more thing, it is raining outside, so I don't think that's gonna like do too much with the audio. Usually the only thing that's really like a huge issue for the audio is wind, or if I have the AC on in the house, which is so inconvenient, but luckily it's cooling down, so that's not as much of an issue at this point in the year. I just realized my sleeve was like completely twisted around. Yeah, if you can hear the rain, if it's like doing anything, sorry about that. I can't do anything about that either. I think that should be pretty much everything though that I need to address before we can go ahead and jump into the actual books. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the things that I want to try to get on my TBR for the month of October. I'm actually so excited about some of these. October feels like such an excuse for me to just drop everything and read like a certain kind of book, and I just can't wait for this. This is gonna be so exciting. The first couple are some books that I've acquired very recently. The first of which is not something I'd ever heard of before, but my mom had this stack of books when I went over to my parents' house, and she was like, do you want any of these? Because I'm going to get rid of them. And I saw this one and I thought it looked so interesting, and that is Hallucinating a Demon by Ashlyn Mills. I love a good, cringy, terrible romance book. I feel like it's so fun. And a cringy, terrible demon romance book sounded even more fun. Things like this, I feel like this could go one of two ways. I could either genuinely enjoy it and have a good time, or dislike it so much that I have a great time. So I'm very excited about this book in general. It's also very short, and I am going to be doing a 24-hour readathon of sorts during the month of October as well. So I feel like this is a perfect opportunity to read this book. It has demons in it, so it feels October-y. It's a very quick little fun, silly, goofy romance, and I feel like just the vibes are very there. I would honestly almost have genuine high expectations for the quality of this book, but I just cannot take a book seriously that has a tangible bulge drawn on the cover. Like, no part of me can look at this and expect high quality from something like that. I can either brace myself for the cringe, or maybe I'll get something out of this. Maybe this will be quality literature in some regard, but either way, I definitely expect to enjoy this book quite a lot. The next thing that I have also gives off Halloween vibes, because this is the spookiest book I think I own, and that is Hunting Adeline by H.G. Carlton. This is spooky for a myriad of reasons. The main one being that her taste in men is terrifying. This one definitely has me shaking in my boots to pick up. Now, this next book is not a spooky book. This is really the only one that doesn't qualify as Halloween-ish, but this is just a book I really need to read, and that is Ruin by John Gwynne. And I know that I have been talking about this book and saying this is the book that I need to read the most out of everything on my TBR for like 3 months now, but something has changed, and that is the fact that I have finally finished Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. It only took me 3 months, I know, but I finally finished that book, and honestly, now that I'm done with that, I feel like the chances of me getting through even a fraction of my monthly TBR have tripled at the very least. So I definitely have much higher hopes for my ability to actually get through a reasonable number of books in the months to come, and one of those books being Ruin by John Gwynne. Now, I do have a game plan for this one. Because this is so chunky and I want to read a lot of Halloween-like things during October, I want to start reading this and read it alongside some other books so that I am making progress in this and finally making my way into the second half of the series, but also like giving myself the opportunity to read some spookier, scarier Halloween kind of books. Next up, this one is also one that I got kind of recently, and that is the Grimoire Grammar School Parent-Teacher Association by Caitlin Rozakis. And I don't really remember what this is about, but I know it sounded like it was right up my alley, and everything about this cover gives off spooky Halloween October vibes, between the seance kind of things, the spell book looking things, and like the witchy symbols and everything. Like, this just looks like so much fun, so much Octoberness happening here, especially with the color orange on the sprayed edges, and I'm just very excited for what this book possibly holds, and I feel like now is a great time for me to pick this up. And the next couple of things are also more of like priority TBR books for me, and the first one is The Hunted by Charlie Hickson. There's really no reason for this to still have a bookmark in it because I'm absolutely gonna have to start from the beginning. I opened up my Goodreads today to see when I read the previous book in the series, and it was actually in the summer of 2022. So it's been 3 years now since I've read the most recent book in the series before this, like the previous number 5, since I read book 5, which I did not realize that had been so long, but I can't say that I'm super surprised because I've been borrowing this book from my friend for 5 years now, and I just really, it's getting ridiculous. I have to read these already. So this is another one that's going on the October TBR. It's a YA book about zombies, and it's a lot of fun. So this one is going on the list. And then From a Buick 8 by Stephen King. I don't know anything about this except the bag, which says there are Buicks everywhere, which I don't know about y'all, but that sounds pretty spooky to me. So this is one that I'm hoping to read in the month of October as well. I enjoy Stephen King books, at least the one that I've read and now the one that I started reading. I really enjoyed those. And my dad bought this for me a few months ago, and I've yet to pick it up. So this is another one that I am super excited for and super looking forward to getting happening on this TBR. Now that we're at the wheel, some of you might be thinking, am I crazy or does that arrow look different? And while I cannot answer the first part of that question with any confidence, I can confirm that thanks to the cat, this is a different arrow. So your observations are correct if you've noticed at all. But yeah, she decided to use my other arrow as a chew toy conveniently on the day that I was filming this video. So thanks to her, I made a new one today at the very last minute. So you can kind of see the adhesive sticking out behind it, but just ignore that. Pretend it looks perfect and perfect. I think I'm gonna spin the wheel 5 times this month. I feel at least a little bit confident that I might be able to get through 5 books. I feel like I genuinely have a lot more of a chance this month than I would any other month. And obviously, if we land on the same space twice in a row, I'll have to add another spin. If we add on, let's say, add 1 book, I'll have to add more spins. So I feel like 5 is a reasonable starting point for this. So without further ado, we are going to go ahead and start with spin number 1. If the wheel is unable to land on a certain space on its own and then it moves, then I just go with whatever space it started to land on just to make it fair so that it does have an opportunity to land on those spaces. I am just going to go ahead and test and see if it's possible for it to land on this blue space. And it's not. So that means that entire series is the first choice from the wheel, which is a little bit of a curveball for the start of this TBR. I'm actually gonna have to think on this one a little bit because I don't really know what to choose. I am gonna check real fast and see if my library has a certain series of books. I don't know if this series is complete or not, but I know how many books are out. Okay, wait. I'm gonna do a little bit of research real quick. I'm gonna Google if there's any like better, more like October/Halloween like options. So my number one, like most logical option that I would really kind of go for with this prompt would be The Crown's Game duology by Evelyn Skye, because I read this first book in 2020, I believe, and I never read the sequel. It's just a duology. There's just the 2 books, and I did really enjoy this first book and was really excited to see where the second book is going to go. But I don't necessarily know that I'm really in the mood to read this in the month of October, and I do think there's some more Halloween-ish, or at least could quantify in some regard as Halloween-like, that I feel like are more the vibes of the month of October that I could go with instead. And so one of those that comes to mind is the City of Ghosts trilogy by Victoria Schwab. And I love V.E. Schwab. She writes her adult books as V.E. Schwab, and I think City of Ghosts is middle grade. It might be YA. I'm pretty sure it's middle grade though. But she writes those as Victoria Schwab. But obviously I just read Burial Bones in the Midnight Soil. It took me forever, but I finally finished it and I really, really enjoyed it. I love her writing style. I love the vibes that she puts in her books. I think they're so fun, so amazing. There's just so much energy and like poeticness to them, and I think they're absolutely stunning. So I would love to read one of her middle grade books as well, especially because City of Ghosts, it's obviously spooky and fits in with the Halloween spirit, if you will. But then I think another possibly more realistic choice for me for things that I might actually end up getting to, and I feel like I might be more in the mood for this month, is the Lore Olympus series. Now, I read this first book back in December and just never continued up with this graphic novel series just because I only own the first book. It just wasn't something I really got around to, but I did really enjoy this first book. And while this is a romance, it is about Hades and Persephone, and I feel like Hades, you know, Halloween, the underworld, I feel like it kind of fits in with the vibes. I feel like I want to read this series because the art style in this one was so much fun. I remember really enjoying this and being genuinely invested in it, and also like it's a graphic novel, so it goes by really quick, and I do feel like I need a lot of quicker reads in the coming months to kind of feel like I can really not get back into reading, because I haven't really been in a reading slump, but I feel like there could be one on the horizon if I don't start getting through things a little bit faster than I did the last book that I finished. So I have really high hopes for this series. series, and I feel like it can be a lot of fun for me. And the library does have volumes 1 through 7. Obviously, I have volume 1 right here, so I would not need to acquire that, but they don't have volume 8. So what I might do is just get volumes 2 through 7 from the library. There's one person on the wait list for the second book, and they have all the others available, so it shouldn't be too long for that at all. And I might just go ahead and read all of those, and then if I get to it, I could just go ahead and purchase volume 8, and it wouldn't be a problem. I could see if anyone I know has it that I could like borrow it from them or anything like that. I think that's going to be my game plan as far as this goes, which obviously like already makes my TBR so thick, but where they're graphic novels, I'm really not worried about it. I feel like that will honestly like take me less time than reading 2 or 3 full-length books would, or at least like the same amount of time, if not less. But I don't know, I just feel like I have more opportunities with this, if you will, more wiggle room as far as the rest of my TBR goes. So this is going to be my first choice for my October TBR, which honestly feels a little intimidating to be putting so many things on the TBR, but it's things that I'm really, really excited about, and I feel like I can have a lot of motivation to actually read and pick up. So I'm very excited to be starting the TBR with the Lore Olympus series. And I'm actually going to go ahead and put these on hold from the library while I am thinking about it so that I don't forget and then end up not getting it in time to read them like when I want to. I have all this on hold now, which means that we can go ahead and move on to spin number 2. Oh, no it doesn't. It means we can switch out the prompt and then move on to spin number 2. I'm still going to be putting these prompts in a little stack for now to put back on the wheel later. I think I'm going to do that at the end of November. I don't remember if that was the month when I originally said, but I think it'll be easiest if I put all those prompts back in the stack. I think I said on the wheel a second ago. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm going to be putting all those prompts back in the stack at the same times that I do my seasonal wrap-ups, because I think it'll make it easiest to keep track of how long it's been when I'm keeping those in line with when I do seasonal wrap-ups, because those will also be every 3 months. So I think it'll just be easier to keep everything organized that way. So end of November is when I'm doing my fall wrap-up and replacing all those prompts back into the overall big stack of prompts. That being said, I'm going to shuffle these prompts up just a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and choose this one, which is the smallest book that I own. That would be a joy if that one came out this month. Spin number 2. Okay, so it landed on highest alphabetical. So for this one, I don't remember if this has come up recently or not, if I should know what this book is. I know lowest alphabetical what those ones were. So I'm just going to take a screenshot and put it on the screen right here once I pull it up. I have my want to read in Goodreads. I also have this list updated from all of the books that I've acquired recently, so everything should be on here. We are sorting by, what was it? Oh, the title. Oh, you know what? I think this is actually perfect. So I have 3 options for this one. Abaddon's Gate, which is the next book in the Expanse series. This is one that I'm just going to have to start over with because I don't remember what was going on with it. So if I did pick this one, it would be the first book, which is Leviathan Wakes, but I don't want to restart a giant series right now. We also have All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven, which is just a cute little romance book that I do want to read at some point. It's YA. That's all I really know about it. I know there's like a Netflix movie of it, but there's this one. But the reason I said that this was perfect is because the next Magic Treehouse book I have to read is Haunted Castle on Hallows Eve, which just works out perfectly because it's October, it's Halloween month, and so I'm gonna go with this one because Spooky Vibes is the name of the game this month. So adding Haunted Castle on Hallows Eve to my October TBR. We are gonna switch out the prompt again for author initials. So if this comes up, I will choose a book with an author who goes by their initials in some regard. So this could be George R.R. Martin, H.D. Carlton, something along those lines. Spin number 3. Okay, so once again, we're gonna see if it is able to land on the red space. And it's not. So that means that question mark is our prompt for this spin. And for this, I just have to pull a prompt out of the stack and fulfill that prompt right now. So we're gonna go with this prompt. I can't see what it is, but it's wanting to run away from me. A tall book. Okay, so just a book that is tall. So for this one, I'm not really sure whether to go with From a Buick 8 or Ruin, because these are both tall books and both things that I need to read soon. But honestly, I would just feel better having this on my TBR, I think, because I've just been needing to read it. So my filming phone actually hates me, because not only did it have some sort of weird error that stopped the recording, it also did not make any sound to let me know, hey, by the way, I'm not recording anymore. So I completely just filmed, not a ton more, but like some more. I did another spin and everything, and it did not warn me whatsoever that it was not continuing to film. So I feel like it's cheating if I go back and spin again, but at the same time, I want you guys to watch all the spins. So I might just go back and spin again, because honestly, I'm not even that excited about the last thing that came up, and that feels like the best thing to do here. I don't really know. So I'm just gonna do that and we'll see what happens. So I'll kind of let you guys know like what happened just now. So I pulled Tall Book out of the stack, right? And my choice for that was Ruin by John Gwynne, just because this is the thing I need to read the most, and I just need to get this on the TBR. It's just something that I feel better having on the stack. I feel like I need to get to this, and it's stressing me out that I haven't continued with the series yet. So this is just something that I need to go ahead and put on my TBR. So for that reason, I chose this for Tall Book, and also just because it's very tall. I don't know if you can tell from looking at it, but I promise it is. And after I chose that, I switched out the prompt. I don't remember where it was. I think it was this one. I think Finish a Series is what I switched it out for. And so then I spun again and landed on Random Spinner right here. This is where I'm just going to go back and redo the things that I did. So we'll talk about that if Random Spinner comes up again, and I will use the spinner footage from me spinning that I just did. I will insert that screen recording, and we will go based off of that if we land on Random Spinner again. But as far as I'm concerned, we haven't landed on Random Spinner yet. So anything can happen from here on out. I did switch out Library Book already, so I will be using this as the next prompt for after we have to switch out the next thing. But this is just me like backtracking. So now, without further ado, we're gonna go with spin number 4. And something that I said literally right before the footage cut out, or like right after. The previous 2 spins, I feel like gave me very, very easy options, which made me feel that bad things were to come. It was making me nervous. And funnily enough, I said that, and then the phone stopped working. So bad things were to come. But hopefully, now that we've struggled a little bit with our technical difficulties that seem to be ever imminent, hopefully now we can have peace in our lives and choose some good books for the next couple spins. So without further ado, let's go ahead and do spin number 4. Brother book. So one of my brother's books, I'm gonna have to think on this one for just a second. I think I've come to a conclusion. So technically all of the Magic Treehouse books are my brother's, so I could really choose any of those for this prompt. I mean, the next book in that series obviously would be that, but I'm not really in the mood to add another Magic Treehouse book to my TBR, and looking at my shelves, I didn't really see anything of my brother's that I thought would be incredibly interesting or that I would enjoy an absolute ton. But there is one book I know of that he owns that I am really interested in reading, and that is What If 2 by Randall Munroe. Now, he wrote What If and How To. This is the sequel to What If. It's, I think, absurd scientific, what's it called? Additional serious scientific answers to absurd hypothetical questions. So it's a little bit like nerdy and sciencey, but it's also really funny and interesting. It's basically these people ask like absurd questions, like what would really happen if you threw a baseball at the speed of light, or things like that. Some of them are really dumb. There's like little pages that are just funny, like why would you ask that kind of questions. But he draws out like all these pictures, the stick figures, all these like diagrams and everything, and it's really, really funny, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I kind of forgot about this book until just now, to be honest with you, but it is a book that I know that he owns, and so I'm gonna see if I can borrow it from him. If not, then there is like the ebook version that I can get from the library. I don't really like reading ebooks. I'm sure he'll let me borrow it. I'm sure he's not gonna be like, no, because he is not generally not attached to his books. But yeah, I think that's gonna be my pick for this prompt. Obviously, Obviously, it would be more productive to read something off of my physical TBR, but technically it is continuing a series I forgot about, but a series nonetheless. And that does actually make me really excited because that is a book that I do really want to pick up, just because those are a lot of fun. Randall Monroe is such a fun author. The Martian by Angie Weir, it's kind of along the vibes of that, where it's like, yes, like you can tell that they're very smart and like they put a lot of like mathy stuff into it, but I feel like they use their smartness very well and they don't really do too much of like doing things you can't really understand. And if something is like really mathy and not super understandable, it's like you can kind of just like skim over that part and the rest of it still makes sense. So I feel like it's a win-win. It's honestly like I enjoy them a lot and I'm really excited to pick that one up. I feel like that came out of nowhere. I don't even know why or how I randomly remembered that book existed, but it was perfect timing, just in time to choose it for the brother book prompt. As I already said, I'm going to switch this prompt out for library book just because that's what I chose before when the camera stopped working. Switching out brother book for library book. And now, scarily enough, we are on to spin number 5 out of 5. Okay, so it first landed on mom's books, which it can't land on its own. So that is the choice that the wheel has spun for this prompt. And I definitely do have a couple options for this because I could stretch this prompt a little bit, if you will. Something I've kind of had in the back of my brain is that if this prompt ever came up, there is a particular book that I would want to borrow from my mom in order to fulfill this prompt. And so she, at one point, let me borrow No Second Chances by Rue Lennox, and now she's gifted me a copy of this book because I did really enjoy it. This is book 4 in a series, and I think that I would like this a lot more if I actually read the series through, like, from start to finish. Also, like, I have OCD and I have to, but at the same time, this was like really enjoyable for me. Parts of it were really cringy. There's a shirtless man on the cover. What can you expect from such a book, such a novel, if you will? But at the same time, most of it, like, I kind of did have a good time with. So I want to say I gave this like 4 stars, and it was something that I was really wanting to keep like picking up over and over again. So I've kind of been thinking in my brain that if this prompt came up, then I would borrow the first book in the series from my mom so that I can kind of jump back into the series and read it from start to finish. But at the same time, it's kind of like starting a new series, even though it's not really, because I've already read one of the books and now I own books 7 and 8 as well. And so like I'm gonna have to get to it eventually. Not have to, like, it is something I want to get to eventually. But also, if we do stretch this prompt a little bit, Hallucinating a Demon by Ashlyn Mills. Now, this book came from my mom. It was hers at some point in time, even if she only obtained it briefly, and then now it's mine. It was hers. It came from her. This book was owned by my mom. And so I feel like by that right, I could classify this as one of my mom's books. If not right now, then it used to be one of my mom's books. And I feel like that counts. This one's really short. It has demons in it. It's October-y. It's perfect for the readathon I have coming up. And I just think it would be so much fun. I think I have to read this book. I think this is the one that's really calling my name. Even though I do, like, this is a series I do really want to get to. It's definitely, like I said, it's been sitting in my brain, stewing back there. One of these days, it will turn into real stew. I don't know. I didn't really fully think of that analogy before I started spilling it out of my mouth. So sorry for that catastrophe. But this is the book I'm going to choose for this prompt because this is just the one that's calling my name. It's the one I want to read. It's what will make me happiest to put on my monthly TBR. Now, technically speaking, we are working with a 12-book TBR here, considering the first prompt was entire series and Lore Olympus is 8 books long. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But those are all graphic novels and not to be fretted upon. These 2 are really short. This book right here is a placeholder for What If, and then Ruin is long, but I'm going to read it alongside others. So honestly, this is the most hope that I've had for a TBR since last December or something. Like, this entire year, I have barely read anything, I feel like, especially these last few months, focusing so much on on BookTube, just not giving me a ton of time to read, and then getting stuck on Barrier Bones and the Midnight Soil for so long. It's been a rough ride, but I have so much hope for this month, and I am so excited to jump into these books. I cannot wait to read any of these, honestly. This makes me so excited, and I just can't wait. Like I said, very, very thrilled for the books that this wheel chose for me. That being said, I do still really, really want to read the Grimoire Grammar School Parent-Teacher Association in the month of October because I just want to. Like, this is just the one that's really calling my name the most out of everything except for Hallucinating a Demon. This one is just eating my brain alive thinking about, and so I am going to add that one to the stack as well, just as something that I do like really, really, really want to get to this month. Everything else I can live with. It can wait. It's not extremely unbearably urgent. I think after October, Hunting Adeline is definitely going to be one that is going to be like my top priority because you need to know what happens next. Not even just for the plot, but also just for the cringe and the absolute absurdity that is H.G. Carlton's mind. I just have to know. And I know some people have been beefing with H.G. Carlton recently, but I feel like I cannot contribute to that conversation considering I've been beefing with her since page 1 of Hunting Adeline, so I have nothing more to say to her at this point. I love reading. I'm so excited for this coming month, especially these graphic novels. Just something about them give me so much energy to like read so many things in the coming days and weeks and months on end. I just could read for the rest of time and be so content. So this is such an exciting TBR. I'm so excited. How many times can I say the word excited in one video? Who knows? I guess we'll find out by the end of this. But I'm gonna go ahead and switch out this last prompt and then we'll kind of wrap things up. So switching out this final prompt, we are going to add whatever this prompt is. Used book. We are going to add used book to the wheel and take off mom's book. That is all for this monthly TBR. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then please hit the like button and subscribe if you would like to, and hit the notification bell if you guys would like to check out any of my videos that I post on Thursdays, with reading sprints on every first and third Monday of the month. However, in the month of October, my sprints will be on the first and the fourth week, not the third, because I have plans during that week. So those will be pushed back to the fourth week of October, and after that, going forward, they will all be on the first and third month. My Bookstagram, my Goodreads, and my book talk will all be linked in the description of this video, as well as the links to some of my most recent videos, such as my day in the life of a college student vlog, and my letting the weather app decide what I read for a week, and my September Wheel of TBR as well, and the playlist for all of my Wheel of TBR videos will be down there as well. That's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for being here and for watching this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!